right, so guys, good morning. Yesterday, huh? Yesterday I talked a little bit of politics, and I said I would have a little bit of something every day again because I think, spreading information, if you're political or not, some of us need to get on board with it because your livelihoods are at stake. Yesterday I talked about what affects everybody on payroll, the 40-hour work week, and how on the agenda for the next Republican president is to eliminate time and a half over 40 hours. So their goal is to eliminate time and a half pay. They also want to try to break up unions and things of that nature. But non-union workers would be affected greatly. The next thing I want to talk about actually affects our men, most notably our young black men, or even our older black men in general. There is a proposition to implement two of the worst policies, I think, that affects black men mostly, which is stop and frisk and stand your ground. When I was coming up, late teens, early 20s, back in the 90s, New York City had implemented stop and frisk. And shortly after they implemented it, it was deemed unconstitutional. Can anybody guess why? Huh? It was deemed unconstitutional because it targeted black and Latino men. They were racially profiling the stop and frisk policy. So they could stop anybody on the street and frisk them. We all know and heard stories of the NYPD, the second largest gang in the United States, only second to the LAPD. Yes, it was deemed unconstitutional because it was a racial profiling situation, and it just really it wasn't a good thing. So they stopped it. Again, we're talking the 90s. Well, the right wants to bring it back nationwide, not just New York.
And who want to bring it back?
Nationwide, stop and frisk. So can you imagine just being out, running an errand, doing what you do, and the police could just randomly pull you out from wherever you are and frisk you, just check you. That will be legal, but we know who the target is. All right. Second, stand your ground. I'm all for gun owning and safe gun ownership, of course. But we all recall how Stand Your Ground became nationally known with the murder of Trayvon Martin, and how George Zimmerman literally saw this kid walking down the street, minding his business, and he approached him. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing around here? Who do you know here? Do you live here? Question. Not police. He's not a police officer. He's just a neighbor. The kid tries to defend himself, ends up dead. George Zimmerman went on trial, and Stand Your Ground was his defense, and he won. Imagine that being national. Let's flip the script. Same state, Florida. Black woman being abused by her husband. He was in the middle of being abusive. She somehow got the gun from him because he was going to shoot her. She gets the gun from him and kills him. Stand your ground did not apply to her. Did not apply to her. She is currently in prison for second-degree murder. No self-defense, no stand your ground. You see where I'm going here? White man kills a black teen, stand your ground applies. Black woman defended herself from her abuser. Second-degree murder. Imagine stand your ground legal across the country. And you're just walking down the street in your neighborhood and somebody just walks up, hey, what are you doing here? Gets a little physical with you, pulls the gun out, just shoots you. They're covered. Might not be the same for you. You figure out what I'm saying? So it's a complicated law. And I'm only saying this, I'm not being racial or anything, I'm just telling the truth. These are dangerous policies that the GOP wants to implement. And we know who the targets are. While they're trying to gain black male votes, their policies are just the worst for black males. The worst. This is not something I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen. You can look it up yourselves. I want you to be informed, and I want you to stand up for yourselves. Get to the polls and get your vote. If you're registered, make sure you vote this year. If you're not registered, get registered. Our livelihoods are on the ballot this year. It's serious. I understand young people don't get into politics, but it's time to pay attention. We're living in different times, and it's very important that you understand what we're getting into. So, I'll have something for the ladies next time. We all know, with women's reproductive rights being at risk currently, we'll talk about that next time. But guys, do your research. Again, if you're not a registered voter, get registered. It is time to take back what they're trying to implement. We're not going back to Jim Crow. That's all I'm going to say. All right? Anybody got anything? Questions, concerns, issues? All right, let's have a good day. It's Thursday. Let's be safe.